Hey again, ACL. It's your favorite dude from the Uncensored page. Get ready for some more information overload. No, I told you guys earlier that I was going to be making a few videos over the course of this weekend. Hopefully these will, I'd probably redo these for future generations so they understand like what not to do. I'd probably spend some more time. If I didn't know that meeting for the special meeting for the voting members was happening tomorrow morning, at 9 a.m. So if you're not already planning on attending, I would encourage you to attend either in person or electronically. It sounds like it's going to be pretty interesting. But that's a 9 a.m. meeting on 11/13/2021. That is legit tomorrow morning. But I want to talk a little bit tonight about quorum and what quorum is, what it means, and like why are we even concerned with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start sharing my screen, move myself up to this little corner up here, and I pulled together a presentation so I could give this to you even quicker than I did the last one. Again, trying to keep this to 10 minutes to 15 minutes so it's not too much, so it's not overwhelming you guys. All right, so without further ado, here's Quorum. I am Sean Cottrell, and let's dive in. So do you know what quorum is? Hopefully you've heard of it, maybe not, who cares, right? Quorum is the minimum number of members of an organization who need to be present at a meeting in order for that organization to conduct business, right? Literally, it's as vague as possible. And that's because it's been developed for the purpose to accommodate the diversity of organizations that use parliamentary procedure, right? Now, literally, organizations need to establish what quorum is because that's the group that can make the decisions for the organization. Our board has a quorum of 5 members. If only 4 members show up, well, they can't just decide to split the treasury amongst them and go buy vacation homes in Hawaii, right? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't fly because Robert's Rules of Parliamentary Procedure have contemplated that there needs to be like, a good number of people, right? And really easily understood, quorum should consist of a number that is as large as can be depended upon for being present at all meetings, whether the weather or when the weather is not exceptionally bad. So again, quorum should be like the normal amount of people that attend the meetings who can make those decisions. And I apologize, I did not silence my phone. If I was really giving a presentation, I would scold myself right now for doing that, which is what I'm doing. All right, so we know what quorum is. It's the minimum number of members needed to conduct the business of an organization, right? Well, that's loosey-goosey, but let's start defining that, right? And where do we look to define things? Let's look to the law. So we look to the Common Interest Community Association Act, and that's SICA. We always hear that word. SICA clearly says in Section 140, it addresses meetings of the members. 20% of the membership shall constitute a quorum unless the community instruments indicate a lesser amount. So let's read that again. 20% of the membership shall constitute a quorum unless the community instruments indicate a lesser amount. Well, that's great. 20% of our membership, we'll talk about that in a second, right? But before we talk about that, let's talk about what was communicated to us around the expectations for how quorum would be addressed going into the vote, right? Before the vote even happened. So one of the things that I did, and again, I'm going to get out of this screen real quick. I'm just going to pull up this PDF because, I don't really trust anybody nowadays. And I just want to show you guys that this is the January 2021 Apple Core. I'm just going to jump down to page 9 here real quick. When we jump down to page 9, it's towards the bottom, we actually see the minutes of the Legal Commission from December 21st, 2020. And they were talking in new business. This is a special meeting of the voting members. They're talking about the February 16th meeting, right? This is a special meeting of the voting members for the purpose of the amended and restated Declaration of Covenants and Restrictions for ACL to completely replace in their entirety the current declaration of bylaws required in 2017. If a quorum is not met, a meeting will be held within 30 days, which will be March 6th. Okay, well, it's pretty clear. We need to meet quorum, otherwise we're going to continue the meeting. I guess that's how Robert's Rules lets things fly, with our attorney at least. Now let's take a look at page 12. Sean Nordley actually wrote a really nice article. I love this quote that he used, right? The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. And when we look under high performing operations and management, We see this phrase that I highlighted, right? We will be updating owners on the progress until we have reached a quorum for the bylaws and the declaration. So again, they're already thinking like they're going to have to meet some sort of quorum requirement. Let's get back into the PowerPoint right now. The last example I have here, and so these are both of the examples I took screenshots. Just wanted to kind of put them here really easily. The last one was a little harder for me to share. That is an email that I got because the association has my email and I signed up for electronic communications. And that's the email that said, "This is you can vote electronically on the amended declarations." I got a separate vote that said I could vote electronically on the bylaws, and I choose to take advantage of that. I thought it's super convenient, and I mean it should be easy for people to vote, right? Because then we're going to get more engagement, more people, better ideas, better things going on. Usually like when there's like one person kind of running the show, it's like, what are they up to? Like, do they even, anyways, that email clearly says, bottom in blue, votes must be cast by noon Central Time, US and Canada on February 6th, unless a quorum is not met. If a quorum is not met, the deadline for voting will be extended. So let's take a look at now our governing documents, and this is the amended declaration. This is literally Article 9, General Provisions, Section 1, Term and Amendment. It says very clearly right here, at any such meeting, a quorum shall consist of 20% of all eligible voting members. So let's unpack that a little bit because I'm terrible at math and I had to write all this stuff down because I'll never remember it. We have a total number of lots at ACL, 2,743. Of those lots, there could be multiple owners, right? But we know where there are lots and there are multiple owners, only one can be the designated voting member, right? So designated voting members, if they've paid all their dues and they're in good standing with the association, I believe there's some other criteria that must be met, they are now eligible voting members, right? So you could be a voting member, but who is not eligible to vote, right? So that's contemplated here as well. But let's look at that math real quick, right? So we have the total number of lots. So again, the number that we should be using in place of this 2743 is a smaller number because we have to subtract the number of lots that Apple Canyon owns. And there could also be property owners who are not in good standing with the association. Maybe they haven't paid all of their dues or whatever, right? So 20% of our total lots is 548.6. Now we know that there aren't 0.6 of a person. You can't you can't vote like 0.6 of a vote. So we'll round that up to 549, right? The question, were more than 549 votes received as of the March special meeting? Well, let's take a look at the April 3rd minutes of the special meeting. As of noon today, we've received 929 votes. And we have not reached quorum yet. So the meeting is not adjourned and will be extended another 30 days. What? Wait a minute. So this is the type of thing that got me questioning what's going on. And not only that, let's look at some of the communications around quorum that have been sent and when they were sent until. You might recognize this ad. It's been in most of the Apple cores that you saw this summer. At the very bottom, highlighted in yellow, voting will continue until a quorum is reached. Well, clearly they're saying voting is being open because quorum hasn't been met. Now let's take a look at the minutes of the special meeting of the voting members from September 18th of this year, 2021. As of 8 a.m. today, we have received 1,442 votes, and we have not reached a quorum yet. So the meeting is not adjourned, and we will extend another 30 days, right? Well, very strange language. Like, I don't know what type of motion you would make that would appease Robert's Rules of Order to actually extend this meeting another 30 days. But I'm interested to hear what's going to happen tomorrow. So let's take a look at one other thing because something interesting happened after this September meeting. You see, this is when I started attending meetings of the Legal Commission and I raised this concern. I said, why are we telling people that we've reached quorum when clearly why are we telling people we have not met quorum and that's why we're keeping the vote open when clearly we have met quorum? Like, what's going on here? Why are we keeping the vote open? That's still an unanswered question for me. So notice how the language changes here. It no longer says we have not met quorum. We have not reached a quorum. It says we have not reached the total number of votes needed yet. It's almost like someone just did a quick search for quorum and just replaced it with the total number of votes needed. Well, what are the total number of votes needed? We see some communications coming out when we look at that January 2021 Apple Core. We know that to commit to submit for ACL says that they need to get all 2,743 votes by the day of the vote so that they could count all the votes. It seems like up until the day where they actually conducted the vote, they knew that they had to follow some sort of rules or something, right? Again, I've asked for what process is currently being used to guide the conduct of this vote, because again, I was told that there is this process that the ACL attorneys have approved, right? But I've been asking for that since Wednesday of this week, and I've sent an email every day to all the members of the legal commission. I sent an email yesterday. I sent the email today, and I didn't just send one email. I sent multiple emails because I knew that yesterday was Veterans Day, and I sent a follow-up email again today saying, "Hey, what's going on here?" I still haven't seen that documentation, and there could be a reason why. What's actually very interesting is a conversation that I had with our general manager, Sean Nordley, by email. You might notice I already posted one email in the ACL Uncensored page, and that was when I was raising my initial concerns to Sean, and he kind of, to me, it felt like I was brushed off, right? It's like, oh, well, let me try to explain this away, but I don't know if he didn't understand what he was explaining, and now that might appear to be the case. Like he didn't understand that we actually have to comply with this 20% quorum, and that's why it was removed from the Apple Core. Or, I don't know if it was like some sort of guidance that the legal team and Sean Nordley received, because apparently there was some sort of guidance from our attorney that both Sean Nordley and Jody Ware mentioned was the procedure was designed by Key and Costello sometime last year. And I looked through all of the minutes of the board of directors, and I don't see them taking action to approve some sort of ballot counting criteria outside of what's required of the Tellers Commission. If you haven't seen that, check that out. I heard like the guy who made that video was like really good. But anyways, so in June, again, like in more follow-up to this conversation with Sean, I kind of said, the reason I'm asking about what is setting the precedent for quorum is that in, Article 9, General Provisions, Section 1, it differs from what's stated in the Apple Core as far as the rules controlling the vote. We see, remember, look at that, think about that language that I just went over from our amended declarations. At any such meeting, a quorum shall consist of 20% of all eligible voting members. That language has literally been lifted from right here. Oh, I guess I can't. Well, that's where that language would have been, but for some reason it got pulled out, and it was mishmashed with some of the words that came from behind it. So I'm not really sure what's going on, because additionally, Sean wrote back to me and he said, Sean, the quorum of 20% for Article 9, Section 1 refers to the quorum needed to hold the meeting. Since votes count as being in attendance, we reached a quorum since more than 20% of voting members have voted. So I do have to continue to ask the question, and I'm not, again, I think an answer would be great. I think I know what happened. I think it's very clear what happened. I just don't have evidence of it yet. I think that's coming, so it's going to be real interesting. But hey, on the back end, keep sending me those questions. Keep engaging. I've got a lot of those direct messages. I'm a little bit behind. I'll try to get to them as quickly as possible. I thought I started my timer, but I guess I didn't. I don't know how long I've been talking, but concern nonetheless, right? It's clear that it was communicated to us that the vote would be open until quorum was met. It's clear that quorum was met as of that meeting, and then it was clear that it was communicated to us that quorum has not been met, and that's why the vote was being kept open, even after I notified the general manager on June 16th that quorum was met, and he confirmed in his email response to me that he understood that quorum is 20% of the voting members. So yeah, this is getting sticky. Someone was like, well, they broke the rules, and starting to look like there's more than just rule breaking going on. See you guys at the special meeting tomorrow morning. Have a great night and have a great weekend. Talk to y'all later. Bye.